welcome to Cigars and Syndication. I'm Robbie. I'm here with Jay, where we're passionate about cigars and real estate. Today we're smoking a Cavalier Limited Edition. A nice, easy draw so far. Nice afternoon smoke, and I think we're gonna talk about retail and you know what's going on for it in the commercial environment.
Hey everyone, I'm Junaid Noor. Welcome to Cigars and Syndications. And Robbie, you mentioned this Cavalier Limited Edition, and this is this is not a really well-known brand of cigars, but it's actually you know pretty good smoke for the price point and a good afternoon smoke. So this is a limited edition 2022.
Very good smoke so far. Well, I think today, Jay, we're gonna kick around retail and what it did in 2023, and then maybe what it's looking like for 2024.
Well, back in during the COVID years, what was it, 2021, retail took a beating. People were not going out. A lot of restaurants and stores had mandatory shutdowns, so it was just empty. As a result, a lot of businesses closed up. They couldn't sustain staying open, and so as businesses close up, retail centers start losing occupancy, and then they start losing out. And so, the trend was pretty good before that, and then COVID just completely shot it out of the sky.
Yeah, I think it in 2023 it was up around 95% occupancy. So it seems like it's probably gotten over that hump. And a lot of these retails they're having to reinvent themselves and maybe create a new customer experience.
Yeah, so uh, one of the things that uh, COVID did was it kind of accelerated everything. So as Amazon was starting to pick up, and you had other companies like DoorDash and Instacart uh, just starting to get off the ground, and even though Amazon's been around for a long time, but people were not adopting it as quickly. COVID kind of sped everything up, and I was talking to a friend of mine who's a computer, these are IT people, and they were just like, look, all COVID did was it sped everything forward 10 years. So now, where it would have taken 10 years for people to start working from home, or 10 years for people to just completely buy things on Amazon or have their groceries delivered, during COVID, everything just started moving up really, really fast.
Yeah, I mean it really did speed up the process and maybe caught some of the retail off guard. But I think a lot of them quickly changed their game and recognized that, they had to enhance the personal experience. They had to change and adapt to the environment. And I think some of them did a pretty good job.
Yeah, so they've come up with this new terminology now called experiential retail. And basically, experiential retail is instead of retail centers focusing on products, they're focusing on a customer experience. And a lot of the older retail centers have done a good job of adopting the experiential retail model.
Yeah, they definitely had to. There's just some parts of retail that'll never go away. There's things that, you know, tires on your car, car repair, haircuts, things like that are just restaurants. They're all going to, they're going to be around. Amazon's not going to kick everybody off the planet. They're trying, um, but I think that enhancing people's experiences, making just a more customer friendly environment, maybe more boutique type environments where they have specialized products that maybe you can't find on Amazon. And I think that's what's helped keep retail afloat.
And also, I am I grew up price shopping. We always price shopped. And I look at Amazon, and actually the other day I was looking for a pressure washer. I looked at Amazon and I looked at Home Depot, and Home Depot was cheaper and it was available. Amazon wouldn't get it to me until next week. Home Depot, I could just go and pick it up. So my point being, you're right. Amazon's not going to completely destroy everybody, kick everybody off the planet. And then, things like experiences, right? So when you go to get your hair cut, and not as much for me, but I know for my wife, she likes to go and get her nails done. She could do them at home, but it's, it's a different experience. And so one of the things that some of the malls have adopted is the simulated golf systems. So you can go into one of these malls and you can play golf. You can play 18 holes and you can play different courses. And that kind of is one of those experiential retail items that can bring people into the mall. And then once they're there, they're going to spend some time there and they're going to walk around.
And I do think that they've done a good job of adapting and enhancing people's experiences. But they're still faced with some of the challenges that all commercial real estate's faced with. They still have increased construction costs. They still have the higher interest rates. A lot of these guys, their notes are still coming due. Just like just like the multifamily and other parts of real estate, the office buildings. What do you think some of the things they're doing differently that might help offset that?
So yeah, prices are going up everywhere, and we all know that commercial notes are mainly 5-year notes, and they reset in 5 years. So there's going to be some notes that are going to be coming in for reset. But I think, and property taxes too. Property taxes are going up too. Insurance is going up. But one of the things that uh, retail does is that obviously they're going to raise prices as well, but they put on added services, right? Added products, and well, not as much products, but added services, right? So simulated golf is not free. You can go in and there's they'll have food there, they'll have a bar there. And this is one of those things that you can't order on DoorDash, right? You have to go to the location, and that drives customers. And so those kinds of things. And then the other thing is celebrities, right? I was reading about this in one of the reports that celebrities are really getting involved in putting their name on retail establishments. That drives customers to come over there and buy things.
Yeah, I think that's a key factor in it, and I think a lot of these retail establishments they're using social media, celebrities, and those types of things to impact. And I think a lot of it is maybe they're taking advantage of the pent up demand. There was, we were, prohibited or didn't feel comfortable going out in public for a while during COVID, and then everything got better. And I think people are all about the experience, just like taking a trip or a vacation. I think that retail's getting that same impact from that pent up demand.
Another thing that retailers or retail mall owners are trying to do is bring in top tier restaurants. Celebrity chefs. And I know uh, what is that? One of the Hell's Kitchen guy. He comes in and he's got his own restaurants. Does anybody know Hell's Kitchen? Gordon Ramsay. Gordon Ramsay. In my time it was Wolfgang Puck, and I know he had a bunch of restaurants at that time. He was a celebrity chef. Um, Being from Chicago, Rick Bayless is another one who is very well known to Chicago, and he opens up his restaurant. So my point being that the retailers are trying to attract the celebrity chefs in, and that drives a lot of traffic in for them as well.
And that I think that's a good look back at 2023. But for 2024, I mean, are you just kind of seeing a continuation of 2023? You think it's going to be more of the same? Do you think maybe they have some more challenges?
Well, with 95% occupancy rates and bringing these experiential retail, um, being able to raise rents, retail is a very very strong sector right now. They've got good occupancy, they've got solid rent. They kind of, I think that the shakeout of the retail stores that were not really staying in with customer demand has kind of happened already. I know there's still a few stragglers. I know J.C. Penney's still straggling around. Sears is gone. Um, and then the other retail stores, like Target, have adopted to customer needs. And then of course you have the discount, super discount stores like Marshalls and Ross. Those are never going away because you're not going to be able to get those deals on Amazon or anywhere else. You got to go to the store, right? So what I'm seeing is strong occupancy, strong rents. There's a lot of people who want to still invest in retail. And there's not a lot of new construction in retail going on, especially, I mean, nationwide, definitely. Not even in Houston, just because the prices are too high. Construction costs are high, interest rates are high, and people are still kind of like, well, I don't know, nobody really knows which way retail is going to go unless you can come up with a concept where, you're going to have all these experiences in there.
Yeah, no, I think you're 100% right. I mean, and there's not a whole lot of new starts. So the the property in the retail space that's available is available, and the price is going up because of demand. And it's not really a good time to kick off new retail developments because of the interest rates and other challenges there. And the property values are remaining high. So it's really I think it's going to be a continuation in 2024 from 2023. I think it's going to be a pretty solid year for retail.
And considering that retail investment in 2023 fell by 63%, 65%, I'm sorry, 65% in 2023, just because people were scared, right? People didn't know how retailers are going to adopt to the changes that are coming up. Interest rates are going up, and everybody's just kind of holding back and trying to figure out what's going on. But seems like retailers are doing a good job of turning their services around and staying with the customer demand.
Yeah, and I think labor is a big factor into uh, some overall cost for these retailers. I mean, everybody's minimum wage is rising incrementally, and I think it's going to have an impact. And you know, fortunately for them, they can take it out on the consumer by raising prices.
Yeah, well, and the other thing is that I forgot to mention one of the other concepts that retailers are wanting to enhance is the open air mall concept. Now, in certain places, open air malls are great, but Houston, it gets really hot. I know there was an open air mall by my house in Chicago, and in the winter it was horrible. I mean, going from store to store, and you had to make sure you had your gloves on and your hat on to go to the next store. It's not that fun, but they're bringing in entertainment, they're bringing in concerts, they're bringing in live music, anything to bring the customers in.
Yeah, no, I think it goes. I mean, it's you change or you die, and I think that seems like they're doing a pretty good job of evolving into the current situation.
So the only other thing that I can see where consumers uh, clamp down on their spending is uh, the credit card debt. And we've been following credit card debt, and since stimulus money has been dwindling down, savings have been dwindling down. Um, People are still trying to live exactly the same way they were living when they had some extra money in their accounts. But now, to make up the gap, it's credit card debt, and credit card debt has been increasing. The danger of the credit card debt increasing in this environment is that your interest payments are much higher. So, it'll take the people who are paying the minimum monthly payments much, much longer since the Fed has increased interest rates and credit card interest rates are tied to that. Um, People are going to start realizing very quickly that the charges that they're making are accumulating interest very rapidly, and they may start slowing down and buying less.
And that's a great point because I mean, all through 2023, consumer confidence seemed to continue to grow, and this credit card debt is real, and it's definitely going to catch up to us at some point. Whether it's 2024 or not. Hopefully it doesn't have a big impact on us, but it definitely will have some weight in how 2024 turns out.
I mean, the good thing is that as of the last survey, earnings are up 4.5% versus a year ago, and unemployment is down to 3.7% right now. So, as long as inflation stays, and inflation is right now, right around 3%, um, maybe a little bit less depending on the month. Um, if people are getting 2 percentage points higher than, or earning 2 percentage points higher than the inflationary amount, then they may still wind up with a net benefit. But again, people have to be smart about it, right? You can't, they're not going to be able to get out of debt by spending more, right? You have to spend a lot less, and you have to really, really go into a lot of austerity measures, right? Really cut back on spending in order to be able to get out of credit card debt, and then just be able to pay that down so that you can actually have uh, disposable income to spend.
I think overall, I think I'm feeling pretty good about the retail sector for 2024. I mean, it's going to have some challenges, but I feel pretty good about it. I think that the retail experience and the uh, what did you call it?
Experiential
The
retail.
experiential retail is there, and I think there's a lot of people that want experiences over just pushing a button.
Yeah. And, just to touch on the Fed just a little bit before we end our podcast, is that, the Fed is really trying to engineer a soft landing. They like the fact that the economy is doing well, GDP is growing, and if they can do it right, we can have low unemployment and a growth in the economy like we did in the 90s. And I think that's what they're trying to do. And let's hope they can make it go, because we had a really big boom in the economy back in the 90s.
Yeah, no, I think there's some pent up demand on the investor side. I think the developers, they're ready to put deals together, and I think a couple of drops from the feds will help get that thing kicked off.
Yep. Well, I think that's pretty much all for our podcast. We hope you enjoyed our thoughts on what's going to happen with retail in 2024. You know, check us out on albanyparkcapital.com. Check us out on YouTube and all of our social media.
Yep, and if you get a chance, pick up a Cavalier Limited Edition 2022. Really good, smooth smoke, and we'll catch you next time.
Have a good day.